We had a question from one of our users in regards to the island fade and stone fade options that we introduced in beta release 13. And he had a bit of an unexpected result and didn't understand why he was getting the result he was getting. And so we're going to explain that in a bit more detail here. Let's go ahead and make a little circle here. And let's go ahead and set our circle to 5 inches. And I do want to make a copy of this circle. And let's look at a couple of different options here. So we're going to set our islands to 6 and our island fade. In this case, we'll do something kind of dramatic. Let's use 3. Even though it's a small number, it will make a dramatic difference in the output. And for the stone fade, he was using 20. And so what we're going to do is right click to the outside and you get this result. And the question is, well, this isn't really the result I was thinking about getting. Now, I want to make the same. I'm going to make another copy of this. I'm going to do the same settings, but I'm going to make one change. And watch what happens here. So we're still going to do 6 islands, but we're going to skip island fade, and we're just going to do 20 stone fade. Right-click again, and look at the result you get. You get a very, very different result. It looks kind of cool, but the result is very different. So let's go ahead and move that over here. Let's take a look at another option here, and then we can explain what's really happening here. So at this time we're going to do 6 islands. For the island fade, we're going to do just 0.1. So just 0.1 of a millimeter, basically nothing. And then 20 stone fade again, and right click again, and you can see this is the result that we get this time. So let's compare these two results a little bit so we have an understanding of what's happening. So the first option that we did 6 islands. So we have our original line plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 islands. And then we used a 3 for the island fade. And remember I said we'll do something dramatic. We'll use 3. And what that does is the first offset, in this particular instance, the first offset was 5.3 millimeters. The second offset was 8.3 because we did a 3 fade. So it added 3 to 5.3, that's 8.3, and then 3 again, and then 3 again, and 3 again. So between each set of stones here, the spacing got wider and wider and wider. Now in this example, we use 0.1 of a millimeter, so visually looking at it, the spacing between each line of stones is basically the same. It's off by 0.1 of a millimeter, so it's not off by much. Now this one is a little bit different because we didn't use any island fade. And so you can see we get 3 very different results. So let's explain a little bit better about what's really happening here. So when you're using those options, you know what to expect. Well, the way it's programmed is the first line that we started with gets a full set of stones. You can see it's 76. Now the next line out, because we used a 20 stone fade, it's only 56. And then of course the next line out should be 36, and the next line out should be 16. But the next line, we can't reduce 20 from 16. So we can't have a line of no stones. So what we said is, okay, well, if we have a situation where we can't reduce stones anymore, just make a full line of stones. So now we're back to 122, and then the next line is 102, 20 less, and then finally 82. That's what's happening, okay? And we have the exact same situation here where we started out with a full line of stones and it came to here, 16, and then came back to here, back to 102, back to 82, back to 62, okay? So slightly different result there. Now here, it's just a programming thing. If we don't use the stone fade, instead of going from the outside or going from the inside out, we go from the outside in if we don't use any stone fade. And like I said, I just thought that would be kind of a neat option. So that's why you have a full, instead of the full line coming from the inside and then gradually out, now it's going the opposite direction. Now the reason but the same situation's happening here. We have, if we go back over here, we have 13 stones and then we can't reduce 20. so it puts in a full line of stones again. But you can see it started, the full line started from the outside instead of the inside because we didn't use any island fade. And like I said, I just thought it was a neat option, so that's just the way it's programmed. But you can see if I let's go ahead and throw a weed box around this. You can see that the different options are pretty cool, different options that we have just by using the various different modifications here in the fade options. So hopefully that gives you a better understanding of how the fade function works and how it's supposed to work, and then you can create, you know, all kinds of different arrangements that way. Thanks for watching.